Put that by the window there.
Okay.
Actually, give me the phone. I'm going to do this a different way. Advertising.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody, welcome. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Oh Krishna, this is so great. Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari Hari Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna. Is my phone over there? Did I put it there? Oh. No, my phone. Where's the other phone? Where's the red phone? Red phone. Come on. I thought I told you to put a phone over there.
I did, then you asked for it back.
I did?
You put it back there, I think.
Oh, okay. Very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Govinda Lilamrita a little bit. Those who understand the super excellence of Krishna's virtues see that he is completely faultless. Those who understand the super excellence of Krishna's virtues see that he is completely faultless. Then they try to please him in all respects. O Radha, you should also try to please him by giving him your necklace of jewels as a gift. O Radha, you should also try to please him by giving him the necklace of jewels as a gift. Srimati Radharani then said, My dear friend Kundalata, when you consider the cooling virtues of your brother-in-law, Krishna, you blossom with great happiness. My dear Kundalata, when you consider the cooling virtues of your brother-in-law, Krishna, you blossom with great happiness. I think you should worship him. Her jokes are great. I think she's being a little sarcastic there. What do you think? I read that again. Those who understand the super excellence of Krishna's virtues see that he is completely faultless. And then they try to please him in all respects. O Radha, you should also try to please him by giving him your necklace of jewels as a gift. Srimati Radharani then said, My dear friend Kundalata, when you consider the cooling virtues of your brother-in-law, Krishna, you blossom with great happiness. I think you should worship him. Not I. I just worship him now by offering the flowers of your teeth on the altar of his reddish lips. Hearing these words, Kundalata became angry. She addressed the infallible personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, in the following words, My dear Lord Hari, this girl is Radharani, the talkative granddaughter of Mukara, and the other girl is Harsh Lalita. How is it possible for a meek person like you to reclaim the stolen flute from such a nasty person? You are a single gentle-hearted person against a host of crooked-hearted domineering girls. You are a single gentle-hearted person against a host of crooked-hearted domineering girls. Same mood, huh? And that's in Vrindavan. As above, so below. You cannot defeat them. My advice to you is carefully protect your garments and ornaments so they do not snatch them from you, and flee at once to your cowherd friends. My dear Krishna, these girls do not care for piety or impiety. They are simply obsessed with greed to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. My dear Krishna, these girls do not care for piety or impiety. They are simply obsessed with greed to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although these gopis are all religious, pure-hearted, and chaste, they have spoken improperly to you, my young brother-in-law, and although these gopis are all religious, pure-hearted, and chaste, they have spoken improperly to you, my young brother-in-law, and they have also blasphemed me with many harsh words. O Krishna, give me a reward, give my reward to Vishaka, and free me from these bonds, so I can at once visit their homes and complain about their behavior to their superiors. Krishna laughed and said to Vishaka, My dear pious girl, come here. Come here and take these jewels. As Vishaka approached, Lord Krishna embraced her. The gopis then began to smile and laugh. They all surrounded Vishaka and Krishna. During the loud quarrel that ensued, Srimati Radharani carefully decorated herself with silence, slipped away unnoticed, and disappeared into the forest. Fearful Tulsi took the flute and fled to the nearby grove of Vrindavan forest. Vrinda Devi met her there and took the flute from her hand. Pressing the flute against her breast, Vrinda Devi said, "My dear flute, you are the crown of your entire family. For even though you took birth in a family of insignificant bamboos, you have become the cause of these wonderful pastimes enjoyed by Srimati Radha and Krishna." Ah. My dear flute, you are the crown of your entire family. For even though you took birth in the family of insignificant bamboos, you have become the cause of these wonderful pastimes enjoyed by Sri Radha Krishna. Anxious because of her friend's laughter, Vishaka moved her eyes restlessly. Anxious because of her friend's laughter, Vishaka moved her eyes restlessly. She stared at Krishna, stuttered, and with a great struggle broke free of his tight grip. She angrily spoke to him the following words: "We are neither your family members, nor are we your servants. How can it be proper for us? How can it be proper for us than to take gifts from you, a stranger, O king of cheaters? I think you should give your gifts to Kundalata, for she is your sister-in-law, a member of your family." Vishaka then turned to Kundalata and said, my dear Kundalata, if you are so intelligent, why do you act like such a fool? Why do you neglect your brother-in-law's gifts and to obtain things elsewhere? Why do you act in this sinful way? Oh, wow, that's deep. Kundalata then said, "O Vishaka, generous Krishna is simply trying to gain good karma and eliminate his bad karma by giving this charity to a Brahmin ladies like yourself. Why should I stop him?" His deepest tattvas and truths are right in these pastimes. It's unbelievable. Kundalata then said, "O Vishaka, generous Krishna is simply trying to gain good karma and eliminate his bad karma by giving this charity to the Brahmin ladies like yourself. Why should I stop him? Why are you afraid of Krishna's gift of love? Take it, double your own wealth, and then you may also give in charity." Chitra then said, see, oh God, man, this is so great. Later I'll talk about this stuff. It's so great. It's really wonderful. "O Vishaka, why are you trying to renounce your own honestly earned wages?" Chitra then said, "O Vishaka, why are you trying to renounce your own honestly earned wages, thinking they are not your own property? Now you have become wealthy. Give some of your wealth to your friend Kundalata, who is standing right before you." Then Kundalata said, "O Chitra, I think you should become the claimant of Krishna's gift. If Krishna gives his own jewel away, and you do not accept it, it is not he who becomes the loser." Kundalata then turned to Lord Krishna and said, "My dear Krishna, because you are very generous, you are trying to give charity to these girls, even though they are too small-minded to appreciate it. I think you should give this gift only to Srimati Radharani, for she is wise and liberal enough to understand its value." Searching for Radha with his glance and not finding her anywhere, Lord Krishna said, "O crooked Kundalata, where have you hidden your friend, the thief Radha? Bring her before me. Disobey and you will be punished." Lalita replied, "I am not her warden. Who knows where she is? Find her by your own efforts and rule your little kingdom with her as your queen." "I am going home." One gopi announced, "I am also going home." Another gopi announced, "I am going to the temple to worship the sun god." A third gopi announced, "I am going to bathe again in the Manasa Ganga river to purify myself from the contamination of Krishna's touch." As the gopis were trying to cheat Lord Krishna in this way, he turned to face Kundalata. Her glance signaled him to the forest, and he entered it without delay. Lord Krishna then bound Kundalata and the other gopis with the ropes made from forest vines. He brought them to the 4 gates of the courtyard deep within the forest. When Srimati Radharani saw her lover Krishna coming, she began to flee. Krishna caught her and forced her to enter the courtyard and sit down on the couch there. By that time, Srimati Radharani was burning in the forest fire of amorous passion. The mad elephant of Lord Krishna took her to a secluded place in the forest and enjoyed her to his full satisfaction. By that time, Srimati Radharani, as Lord Krishna fought to unite her bodice and undergarments, alarmed Radharani fiercely resisted, her moving arms causing her bracelets to loudly jingle. The soldiers of Lord Krishna's impudence routed Radharani's peaceful composure. Shyness and contrariness and other defenders. Lord Krishna happily stuttered as he demanded, Give me my flute." Their bodies decorated with glittering ornaments of their previous joking words, and their bent necks singing and sprinkling a shower of nectar. They enjoyed a great festival. All glories to these sweet pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna enjoyed in the grove of Vrindavan. Thus ends the 10th chapter of Govinda Lilamrita in the matter of the Lord's midday pastimes that delight the gopis. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami has ordered me to write this book, which I have been able to do by the blessings of Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami and the saintly association of Jiva Goswami. I consider this book the ripened fruit of the service I have rendered to Sri Rupa Goswami, who is like a bumblebee relishing the honey of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is just... Well... This path is so great. Just tasting the holy name of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya and all the devotees, just tasting, relishing that vibration. It's all you have to do. That's the Dharma of the age, to taste this vibration. A devotee was watching Prabhupada in his room chanting, kind of like what we do openly, and he saw these ecstatic symptoms. And he said, well, when am I going to do this? And when am I going to be able to chant like this? He said, you chant for 30 years like this. You can chant for 30 years and then you'll also. Yeah. But a lot of people, they're getting this a lot faster, this chanting. Especially if with Lord Chaitanya's mercy, the more you read that Leela, the more it purifies all these things, identifications. And you get freer. Like you feel a lot freer than you did 2 years ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
See, it just goes on, More and more freedom and purification. And, it's growing a garden. And it's the best, the most pristine garden we can have. Even Christians do it. It's not like they're always worshiping the Lord. See, they're getting purified. Even the ecstatic stage. Yeah. Yeah, so there's so much deep truths in these things. I don't know, let's see, I'll go over this here. Oops, did I mess it up? Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, there's just so much. Yeah. Another gopi said, another gopi said, if one asks about the origin of love of Krishna, the answer is, the origin is Srimati Radharani. See, love of Krishna is literally personified form. Love of Krishna is Srimati Radharani alone. See that bhakti. She's the origin of pure bhakti, pure devotion. See, so it's the origin of love of Krishna. Otherwise, see, without this bhakti, we can't love Krishna. Krishna is just kind of a thought, or you read the scripture. Oh, Krishna is really great. See, but without devotion, we cannot have that bond. That love. It's like you can't love your wife without serving, or husband. You got to serve and then that service, love grows. The same thing here, with servant association devotees, and then love of Krishna grows, devotion grows, and it's this bhakti, the origin. See, literally, it means it literally. The origin of love of Krishna is Srimati Radharani, the personification of devotion. Who is the most dear friend of Krishna? A dear friend. So we become also dear to Krishna because of that devotion. Without that devotion, we're not dear to the Lord, because the Lord operates in relationship. Otherwise, what do? We're cut off from it because devotion hasn't awakened in us. It's latent there. See, she alone is able to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. No one else. Another gopi said, beautiful Radharani remains in this forest of Vrindavan, her fragrant, graceful bending from decorated with pictures drawn in musk, sandal, and other substances, and her limbs. Where's that part where I was at? God. Did I say, what was the 10th chapter? Thus ends the 10th or 11th. You remember back then? Okay. I think it was the 10th. Thus ends the 10th chapter. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's go back here. Oh, well. Okay, anyway, we'll go somewhere else. Let's see. Another time. Hare Krishna. Okay, this is the Murari Gupta's glorification of Lord Chaitanya and the devotees, the associates of Lord Chaitanya. Thank you all for coming. It's awesome to have friends here doing this. Yeah. A man who recites with attention the narration of the entrance of Sri Gauranga's father into the spiritual abode will also attain the sky Ganga, will attain the sky Ganga at death. Immediately giving up all contamination, he will attain the abode of Sri Hari. Yeah. Yeah. The ninth Sarga. Thereafter, Vishvambara made further studies under the eminent scholars of Sri Vishnu Pandit, Sudarshan Pandit, and Gangadas Pandit. He gave knowledge to those highly learned Brahmins, and for their great benefit, he accepted knowledge from them. Thereafter, Vishvambara made further studies under the eminent scholars Sri Vishnu Pandit and Sudarshan Pandit Gangadas Pandit. He gave knowledge to those highly learned Brahmins, because he gives knowledge to everybody. So they worship him by teaching him. That's their relation, like a superior teacher. And then they get knowledge from doing that. That's service. The Lord, it's playful Lord. Yeah. And for their benefit, he accepted knowledge from them. And that also works on the level of guru and disciple. See? So the same thing happens like here as a spiritual master. The spiritual master is worshiping the Lord, by teaching his disciples, what? See? And so he's receiving knowledge by doing that. See, from Krishna. See? And then Krishna, within the hearts of the disciples, are receiving knowledge from Guru. It's always the same. Even when they happen like that, happens like this. Same thing. See? You just can't, these are unmanifested pastimes, but manifested by mantra, chanting. See, manifested by this way, in separation. Okay? Actually, the Gaudiya Vaishnava line is a line of separation, worshiping God in separation. It's just like he's here. It's how he is manifested in this relationship. Okay? See that? So the Guru has many. Really, if you're really in the line, you have a lot of various relationships with the Lord in your teaching. You're like a superior, and also a intimate beloved, and a friend of Krishna. Sometimes all these different relationships are used to propagate Krishna consciousness through our line. Usually, in our line is a gopi. Spiritual masters are in the gopi mood because they can serve Krishna in all ways. Sometimes as a superior, sometimes as an inferior, sometimes as a friend, intimate friend, different areas. Sometimes in the intimate beloved, conjugal. Yeah, it's amazing, the whole thing. Why we get to know these things, I don't know, man. This is amazing. All these great so-called great sannyasis and superiors, they don't understand this stuff. It's just very similar, like the pastimes in Radha and Krishna's Leela. The superiors were oblivious to what was going on between the gopis' relationships with Krishna. They were so intimate that the superiors, they act superior, and all that. They couldn't understand. It's very secret stuff. So in order to instruct humanity, Sri Hari accepted a man-like form, apparently made of the illusory energy. Okay? And thus followed the path of study under the direction of Sri Sudarshan and other pundits. He who is conversant in every ras with merrily tell jokes in the Bengali language with the Brahmins traveling on pilgrimage. And he also laughed as they told amusing tales. Give me that book that you yesterday out there.
Had to do with these 3 pages.
Okay. All right. Starting from this side.
The numbers.
398. 399. I think we read that.
Yeah.
Okay. 400. Yeah, starting with 400. Okay. He who is conversant in every rasa would merrily tell jokes in the Bengali language with the Brahmins traveling on pilgrimage. And he also laughed as he told amusing tales. After some time had passed, being eager to see Gora, went to the home of Acharya Vanamali, the matchmaker, and with the purpose of accepting a spouse, while Sri Hari respectfully bade farewell and chatted with the Acharya. He saw the daughter of Sri Vallabha Acharya and on the footpath, surrounded by her girlfriends. Then the illustrious Vishwambara departed for his residence, delighting with his companions to talk of Vidya Ras. Vidya Ras. Eager for the mellows of scholarship. That's Vidya Ras. On the next day, the transcendental Brahmana, Vanamali, came to the home of Sri Gaurahari and bowed respectfully to Sachi Devi. He spoke sweetly to her thus: "If you wish to get your son Vishwambara married, I suggest that you select Lakshmi Devi, the goddess-like daughter of that excellent Brahmana, Vallabhacharya." Hearing this, Sachi Devi replied, "My son is but a fatherless boy. At present, his efforts must be directed towards his studies." Hearing her words, the Acharya went his way somewhat dejected, but after walking a while on the path, he caught sight of Gora Krishna, whose heart was brimming over with gladness. Hearing her words, the Acharya went his way somewhat dejected, but after walking a while on the path, he caught sight of Gora Krishna, whose heart was brimming over with gladness. Gaur Bhagavan at once bowed to Vanamali, and embracing him firmly, he inquired in a sweet voice, "Where is your honor going today?" Vanamali replied, "I have just come from seeing the feet of your mother. There I made the suggestion to her regarding your marriage, but she had no faith in my proposal. For this reason, I am now walking despondently." Gaurahari made no comment on the Acharya's words, but walked on laughing. Arriving back at his own ashram, Gaura said, "Mata, what did you say to the Acharya that made him so depressed as he walked on the path?" Why did you not make him feel well loved by offering pleasing words? Suddenly his blessed mother became aware of the state of her son's mind, and she sent a trustworthy person back to the Acharya. Quickly Vanamali returned, and after respectfully bowing down to her, spoke thus. Okay? So that's the Lord dealing with the devotee. Sometimes the devotee feels like they make an offense. Sometimes they do something that doesn't fit right. And the Lord in the heart says, why'd you do that? You could feel it. You ever feel that? Give an offense? It's the Lord in the heart. He takes care of you. Says, oh, what did you do like that? And see, it's just externally like that, but that happens internally when we're devotionally connected. The Lord said, hey man, why would you act like that? You should apologize or, do the right thing. And the devotee does. Quickly Vanamali returned after respectfully bowing to her. He spoke thus, Dear Queen, what is your order? Please instruct me. Upon receiving your message, I have become the most elated, and returned to your gracious presence. As at this, she replied, kindly carry out the suggestion which you made to me earlier concerning the marriage of Vishvambara. Of your own accord, you are acting as a good and affectionate friend of my son. Whatever I have said before to you was also motivated by love for my son. What more can I say? She didn't want to lose her son. Hearing her words, the Acharya bowed his head and said, O Queen, I shall ever carry out your orders, bearing them on my head. So saying, Vanamali went to Sri Vallabha's house. That noble Brahmin stood up and showed him to a seat, as etiquette requires. Then with respect he inquired from Vanamali, Acharya, about his welfare. Your reason for coming is surely to show me mercy. However, if there is any service that I can render you, please order me. When Vallabha had spoken thus, Vanamali Acharya replied, O Acharya, please hear my words. The son of Mishra Purandara, named Vishvambara Pandit, who is the abode of divine qualities, is a suitable husband for your daughter Lakshmi. Therefore, I declare that today you should present your lovely daughter to him. Hearing this statement, the scholar considered his duty and said, Hear me, by the power of divine providence, this marriage must indeed come to pass. But I have no wealth, and thus it is not possible for me to give any dowry. I can give only my daughter. Therefore, kindly offer me some advice in this matter. This reminds me of this story of, I think it was in the Lilamrita, where Prabhupada goes and meets Bhagavan, who's it? Who's that devotee? The devotee, the big heavy set devotee.
Brahmananda?
Brahmananda, yeah. He goes and meets Brahmananda's parents. Did you hear that story?
Yeah.
Brahmananda's parents. And so the parents are there, and he says, he asks for a donation. He said, can you give a donation for it? And they said, and the parents said, what do you mean? We gave you our child as a donation. Remember?
2 sons.
2 sons. Yeah. We gave you these 2 sons as a donation. What are you asking for more? He probably said, oh, yeah. He saw that they were like, oh, they released them. Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. That's great. Yeah, you're right. That was enough. That's the wealth, they gave their child as, to the spiritual master. Like that. Yeah. But I have no wealth, and it's not possible to give any dowry. I give only my daughter, therefore kindly offer some advice in this matter. If Sri Hari, the master of all opulence, is pleased with me, Then by means of my daughter, this best of scholars can certainly become my son-in-law. But as a pearl is joined with a gem by means of a valuable thread, so these two can be joined in wedlock only through your invaluable connection. But as a pearl is joined with a gem by a valuable thread, so these two can be joined to wedlock only through your invaluable connection. See, that's the guru is like that. He joins the disciple with Krishna. See, the marriage. See, an invaluable thread is the bona fide spiritual master. See, that's why, unless you figure that out in Krishna consciousness, and you're not been joined previously, where you actually feel that, when you love somebody, you love them. You know that when you love Krishna, it's this is love of God. This is amazing. See, so you're joined in that. This is where you need shiksha guru. If it hasn't been completed, the marriage hasn't been completed yet. Okay? So the Lord used to comment on that. Unless you accept shiksha from a devotee, you cannot perfect your Krishna consciousness. You have to perfect it. Love of Krishna has to awaken. Okay, and sometimes, like in Christianity, Christians, they're not complete if they're all over the place. A lot of times, they're mixed in with alloys and all that stuff. They have to have more shiksha to understand Siddhantically. Also, they don't understand their own theology clear enough. That's why, some people leave here, they're not clear why they do it. They get in association with unclear people, unclear Christians, and they fall down. They believe in them. See, it's whatever you believe in. If you believe in these people, these politicians and these persons, the medical community, and the world things, they have material motives, and you believe in them, and you get contaminated by that. A lot of Christians still have that. They're contaminated by, could be name and fame, false ego stuff still. They need more purification. So people here, if they fall into that association, they get a little bit bewildered. They don't say, we're here to help them perfect their worship of Jesus. Yeah. That's what I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. So saying, he again returned to Sachi Devi and informed her of all that had happened. Just by thinking of Gaura Chandra's wedding, the Acharya became immersed in bliss. See? So this is it. This is what we do. This is the path. This is how we get purified. We're thinking of the wedding, right? Just like he was thinking of the wedding. They become blissful, ecstatic, purified. So saying, he again returned to Sachi Devi and informed her of all that had happened. Just thinking of Gaura Chandra's wedding, the Acharya became immersed in bliss. Upon being apprised of everything, Sachi Mata spoke to her son, "Dear boy, the time has come for you to take a wife in accordance with the principles of Dharma." Hearing this instruction from his mother, Gaurahari considered them in his heart. Then, honoring her order, he quickly collected the materials for the ceremony. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Now, why don't we sing a song today?
Yeah, we're in the woods.
We're getting in the woods, man. You don't have to worry about anybody. Yeah, I'll get the stuff. Go ahead, chant some japa. We'll chant a little japa here. In the meantime.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri
Oh, no, here. I was going to give you that instead. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Oh, Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Hari Bol Gauranga. Nityananda Chaitanya
Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Krishna 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 Chaitanya
Advaita Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. All right. Hey man, isn't it Harikatha, Sankirtan? It's the life of this universe here. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
All right, nice. Shake the planet here. Oh, yeah. All right, we're here to shake the planet with Krishna's name, man. The perfect one. It's perfect bliss, man. Perfect ecstasy. Perfect transcendental happiness forever. For those who chant his name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, woo! Rama Rama, Hare Hare, woo!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Woo!
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, woo! Rama Rama, Hare Hare, woo!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Gauranga Nityananda. All right, we got another happy tune for you today. Yeah, Sadhu Sangha, worshiping the Supreme Lord. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Hare Krishna, forever. Yeah, taste that name, relish that name, man. That's God, man. Bread of life. That's the bread of life, man. Yeah. Gotta do it. Gotta have it every day. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, yeah. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama All right. Ooh, yeah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Gauranga Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Gauranga Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So I think we're going to start a room here. Everybody want to meet, let's meet the congregation here. You know, like they do in church, afterwards, after church, the sermon, the singing, then they have coffee. They go and sit down, they have coffee, they meet everybody, they go and yap, blah, 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 yeah, talking about things, you know, and isn't it, I used to really look forward to that after the meeting, you know. So let's do one of those. So we'll go off here now, and we'll start a room, you know, the room on Facebook. And if anybody can't get in, I'll start another room. I have two phones, and we'll we can get up to 8 people. I think I'm going to experiment today. We'll see. I'll try and start 2 rooms, and then everybody will be able to get in. So anyway, I got to experiment. Okay, Hare Krishna, everybody. We'll be back in 2 seconds.